Hello world. A rare daytime stream from me. I made some nice progress following on from yesterday where we made very little progress. Oh, wrong button. There we go. We're listening to Double Dragon on the Nintendo Entertainment System there. One of my favourite old tunes from when I was a youngster. But the good news here is, get rid of that, I finally cracked it, how to do this level thing. As soon as I went offline I had a little go, and I don't know, sometimes it's hard coding live online. I was tired after work. Lots of things add up and you end up sometimes just not doing a great deal. But anyway, there's a flight pattern and I've set it up, tested it, and it's quite straightforward now to add several more. I'll do a quick run so we can see it. There we go. I put a noise in so I didn't have to actually watch it, because I've spawned more than one wave. So yeah, it's very simple now to add them. We can create as many waves as we want, and they can take any form without using any mathematics. We just put different numbers in here for each positional step. I think it's using a lot of data, that. Not quite sure exactly how much, but it seems like that would be quite a big sprite. And yeah, like I say, it's just a short session really, this, just to show the viewers of my channel the progress that's been made today or yesterday after I went offline. And I'll add a few more waves in a minute. What did I really change? Let me try and find out. So I've added a level end. That just means it's just another wave really, just another pattern start, but it'll just cause the level to end. Can't remember what the spawning internal is. Oh, that is during a wave, how many frames between each enemy. And annoying, I had to do this speed factor thing. This was the thing that really made me a bit confused. Down in the update loop here, I was incrementing HL just by 1. HL is the level timer. So I was putting the level timer up 1. But it was taking like 20 seconds to get to the next wave. When I calculated it, if it was running at 50 frames per second, it should have only been taking 5 seconds. So long story short, I ended up with a factor of 4. And I increment the timer by that. It's the only way to get it in the right amount of seconds. Now, look, as you can see, the waves are the minimum length apart. I mean, I've started the level timer from 252. That should be at 0. So when you start the game, you'd have a little bit of a pause. And then the first wave would come about 5 seconds in. And then it should take another 5 seconds for the next lot. And there we go. I think I can get rid of that noise now. Like I say, I was doing it late last night. I couldn't even see the window, the game window properly. So I couldn't tell whether they had spawned or not. So I just added a sound. Just delete that. So all the rest of the code actually remain the same. Yo Moz, what time do you call this? It's stupid o'clock, isn't it? It's going very well, thanks mate. I made a load of progress instantly after going offline yesterday. It was one of those scenarios where I think I was tired after work. I got in and plodded about online. And then as soon as I went off, I thought, let's have a quick look at this while I'm watching a TV show. And I realised it was spawning. It was, wait, I'm in the wrong file. It was getting to here where I wanted to spawn. And it was calling that consistently over and over because I'm only testing the high byte. And I increment the entire 16-bit pair. So it obviously took 255 iterations before it stopped calling that. So therefore I added another comparer inside here. Managed to simplify it quite a lot because it always just calls the same function. Spawn, enemy spawn, which God knows where that is. Probably in the enemy. And yeah, it's really that simple. So now it when it gets into spawn wave 1, which gets called every frame whilst the high bit is at 1, the high byte, sorry, it then checks the low byte and it has these intervals. So that's how you know the space between each enemy. And it seems to work really, really well. I'll run it again just in case you didn't see it. Should be 5 seconds in, it should start our first wave, and then 5 seconds for the next wave. Beautiful. I also added an offset so that I didn't have to create a different wave. You know, it's just it uses an offset. So it really is a case of being able to design an entire level now like this, but very easily. If we ignore the background and ignore the collision, I could probably set up a level like before I go work. Really, it's that simple. And I'm going to try and do that right now. I'm going to ignore flight pattern 2. I'm just going to make every single wave flight pattern 1 for now. But what I do is, all I have to do is change the pointer here to flight pattern 2. So maybe I could do that. But nah, for now, this is the only downside that I've got right now. Is I could perhaps just have a spawn wave routine and pass in yet another number, which tells it the 1 or the 2. Or I suppose it doesn't even have to pass in the number. We can just test H. Table for waves. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense as well. So I could just have a 1 and then a comma and then wave type 1 or whatever. But I'm actually thinking it might be able to be more simple than that if we think about it. All it actually does, it tests that number of the high byte. I guess that acts like a gate, so that high byte has to be that before it calls this. This is why I ended up making a whole routine. But it actually does the same thing over and over, except for this is different and this is different. Yeah, definitely go with simple. Definitely. But it's worth spending a bit of time to keep it clean as well, because then obviously we can reuse this. Because I was thinking, it's not actually that much different making like a Double Dragon style game. Now I've learned how to scroll and have like things spawn at a certain time. I think I worked out it can be up to like 16 minutes long, the level of constant scrolling. Maybe I've worked my maths wrong, but it can certainly be like a long time. Definitely keep it simple though. I think for now we'll just have all the waves separate. Oh no, I don't know actually. I'll keep them there. I'll keep them there. And then here I'll try and make the spawn wave instead. And I can always fall back to what I had before. So that's the checking lower byte thing. I'm sure that's correct. I mean, I could just cache a value, but there's no need. It's already in H when we get to this point. I think somewhere along the way you always have to have a jump label when you want to do a conditional. Because I'm still going to have to set those values, these two, somehow differently depending on what wave we're on. So, like you say, it'll have to be a table if not. You know what? Keep it simple and we'll just have, how many waves could a level be really? Like a reasonable sized first level. Maybe 20? Or is that too many maybe? I would love a way to make it generic. No, I keep contradicting myself. Because I'm thinking, you know, you might want like 30 waves, and obviously some levels will have different amounts of waves. Putting back. So check the highlight of the level timer. Like I say, what I'm essentially trying to do is take these bits and just put them in there instead, and then we wouldn't need any of that. But no, like that. Perhaps that can go there. Excuse me. Instead of, oh, what am I doing? Instead of spawn wave 1, if I can find a way to load them instead. If only there was conditional load, honestly, I'd be away. My code would be so much more simple. If I could do load Z. Perhaps I can just do set offset. H is not going to change, so I need to stop loading H every time. I'm funny, I just instantly come on and confuse the issue. When I was offline, I was thinking, oh, I'll just make a load of spawn waves and then that'll be the job done. But now I've instantly complicated it. If I had like a default, it's either like an upper slot or a lower slot, for example, in the offset. Oh, hang on. I did like your wavetable idea then. I had a flash of how to use it. Start. So instead of having a table, my method here is actually like a data saving style. I could have a commented table just for my own notes, and it would be wave 1, like wave offsets, wave 1 equals 30, wave 2 equals 145, for example. I think that was what I put already. And you know, there'd be a whole bunch of these, of course. Probably be much the same like that, and then maybe middle here or something. So I'd need to check them. In fact, let's copy that down to there. So then I'd do what I did already here. So I set it. So this is like a processor hog, but saves a lot of memory. So I guess I'll try it. I'll set it to 30. And then it's a stupid task of, in fact, let's not bother with them constants anymore. And it shouldn't be 30. It'll be 1 and 3. There's a drawback with this as well. The drawback is I'd probably want more than one of these. So that the next level would have to have a different one. So they spawned in a completely different layout. I don't know, let's try this. I kind of did like the first approach I took. There's nothing to stop me just creating a wave after a wave there. The only thing that worries me there is, does it use a lot of data by having all copied? routines, I think it probably does add up. So I'm going to go for this routine for now. We're only going to have, like, say 5 different slots to where they can spawn from, and it's not going to be like hundreds of them. So if it's 1 or 3, it's going to stick at 30. And I don't think I need to push pop because it's not going to return if it ain't 1 or 2 or 3. So I think I can just if your H has not changed. So basically this was just a way for me to avoid having loads of labels for each type of scenario. It's like all in one routine now. I should have started from 0 because every other thing I've counted I've started from 0. I can always change that pretty quickly. And this is really easy if you notice to add this kind of functionality if this works. So I guess really you just want return there at the very end. I guess I could do that, but that's going to be the same thing because it's going to end up like that if it doesn't match any of them waves. But it will do, of course. It will. You just have to make sure that it will always match one of them. Anyway, so that's the offset. Don't need that anymore in spawn wave. Probably just put it there. These could probably all be combined even further. It's also got to set HL to the flight pattern pointer. This is going to be more tricky because I'm reading the value in HL to compare it. Hmm. Kind of feel like we don't need this comparison, but I kind of do at the moment. Oh, that's comparing the high byte. The cool spawn wave. That now checks the high byte. This needs to change. Set offset. And now let's just leave that and see if it works. Give it a try. Go to the middle straight away as well. I thought that would happen. They're going to keep spawning. So I've somehow stopped one of the gates. You know, I've removed. I did have it all working with the time. Probably not called one of these. Set offset. Certainly calling that. Pop this up to the top. It shouldn't really be there. It should be up here. Yeah, I think if I watch it again, it'll keep spawning in the middle. But I think it will eventually, actually, not too long away, it will spawn at the top. Unless what's happening is they're still alive at the time. It misses that. Let me just try, for example, speeding that process up by putting this to. Try 256 straight off the bat. Should be at the top straight away. No. What's going on? Ah. Spawn wave. So I haven't yet loaded H with level timer when I call set offset. Put it there for now. Yeah, there we go. And then they should be bottom next. 5 seconds later, there we go. That's working sweet. And didn't use any data. Not quite sure why it's looping back and doing them again. Because I know I've got wave 3 there. Oh, I suppose I did put 3 there. Excuse me. So I really do want like a constants only file. And I do want to name these really. Because they're not very meaningful. Wondering to put it on this file or its own file because it would be quite a big bunch of constants. When I first created this file structure, I was only going to make a game with one level and it was going to be really basic. Oh, that sounds good. That was similar to the idea I had actually, wasn't it? Yeah, I thought of that, having names for the waves and then a number next to it when you said it. But I think this will work, won't it? This is pretty cool. Like you say, we can name them here, but obviously they do need to have this is basically a time fragment. But I think using the word one is the best way. Just wave 1 equals 1, wave 2 equals 3. Ah, no, I've noticed, yeah, this was another thing that really confused me. I'm only able to, that was 5 seconds chunk, as I predicted, but that was only 1 and 2. So that's the minimum chunk. And I have to increase it by 4 for some reason. Otherwise it takes 20 seconds. Like, I thought I'd just do, instead of doing that, inc HL, yeah? It's a timer, so I increment it by 1. And work that out, if it's running at 50 frames per second, it should take 5 seconds, and then it'll be at 250. So it should take just over 5 seconds, yeah? But watch how long it takes. Of course, the distance, I had to factor the distance in. But yeah, you'll notice it'll take absolutely forever now. It's something like 22 seconds, I timed it. So the game must be running at like 12 frames per second, but I mean, I can move perfectly, so I'm not quite sure why that's happening. Maybe it is running pretty slow actually when I look at it. So yeah, long story short, the game seems to be running pretty slow, and I had to have the annoyance of factoring in this factor of 4 all over the place. So anyway, long story short, that meant that I could just have steps of 1, 2, 3, but they really amount to 4. And if you look down here somewhere, I had to take into account the spawn interval has to be a factor of 4 as well. So they're the sort of gotchas. If you change this, you've definitely got to change that to be a factor of it. But yeah, let's continue. So yeah, I was going to make a game with no levels or anything, but now I'm going to tidy it up a little bit and have a folder called levels. Might even change this level name. I still am going to have to make one of these for each level though. But I think that's all. I think I just need to make this routine over and over again for each level. The rest of it's like can remain the same. So perhaps I should pull that into the other file that I'm about to make. But this is like a level manager almost. This is like the spawn manager. Updates the level itself, checks for you finishing the level, stuff like that. Oh, I still haven't done set flight pattern yet either. So we're stuck on this one flight pattern for now. Perhaps I should undelete that in case I just want to remind myself of how to load a pointer. Because I'm not just loading a pointer, I'm caching it to a value. Tell you what, let's just have a look at flight pattern 2. Right, that's fine. We can see the difference between the patterns. So I basically just want something similar to set offset. So we need 2 of these things. We need this, and we also need set pattern. Why have I already created? I have. We'll set it to flight pattern 1. I guess we want to also have the pattern stored. I'm liking this design. Ah, I've just changed the wave offset. That's annoying that I can't see that. So 1, 2, 5. We're going to need to push and pop HL, remember here. Three and 4. Interesting this. This is a bit tricky now with the push pop thing. I think we can get away with just loading DE, or in fact just D equals level timer I byte. And then does that kill HL? I can't even remember. I believe not. So we should see some other patterns now. Bugger. Just wonder. Would that suffice? That doesn't seem to care about H or L. Might just work. Pattern 2 straight away, that's not a good sign. Probably find the next one's also pattern 2, yet with a different offset. And it crashed, probably because the offset's too big for one of the pattern values. Set pattern. This is clearly failing, I think. I mean, I bet you if we were to put that way around, that would probably work with just being at 1 every time. Oh, strange. The position is messed up, isn't it? Might crash now. Weird. Pretty sure that wasn't meant to be. Wasn't meant to be in the middle first, no. So this is also failing now since I've done that. I load H and L. Interesting. See if we can get it working just like it was. No, look, what's going on there? It was working a minute ago. The offset. EE. HL. Oh yeah. That was another difference there, wasn't it? Still hasn't made a difference though. God, what have I done? I should push to GitHub like every 5 minutes. Roll a ciggy. Sure we can recover from this before I go work. Hey Aleph, how are you mate? Doing well, good, good. Me too, man. Pushing more often. I've probably done my usual trick where I've said something and then instantly forgot what I've even said. The words come out of the mouth, but it doesn't stay in the brain. Oh, pushing to GitHub. Yes, thank you. At least Moz has got a brain. Yeah, I should definitely do that, shouldn't I? Because I had it working a moment ago. I'm sure I'm not far away from getting it working again. I could probably press undo enough times and get it working. I love it. I love the sound effects, honestly. Some of them get me in trouble on YouTube, but they're easy to mute. Okay, I'm nearly ready to roll. H. I find it hard to see why that isn't working actually. The offset at least. Yeah, it's sad about the timing. I think that might be to do with my internet. The longer the stream goes, the longer the lag seems to be. I think what happens is my internet's pretty bad and Twitch is clever enough to not like lag for you. It just slows the stream down instead somehow. Got a bit of a buffer. I've clearly just destroyed one of the registers when I don't mean to by doing something here. But I mean, for a start, this is never going to work because I'm checking H and I've just loaded H, but I'm thinking H is the bloody level timer, so it definitely ain't going to work that. But I think I did try it without that. Yes, I have. Yeah, why the heck ain't that working then? Let's just put that at 0 and I bet you it comes out right at the top of the screen now. Yeah. That's just so funny. I was sailing through it at one point. Spawn wave. Set offset. Definitely H now in there. Perhaps it's not using the offset. It definitely is using the offset because I haven't changed this file whatsoever, and here's where we use the offset to change the Y position. That is definitely not the case. I'm going to dare to hit undo like a million times. No, I'm not. At the moment, that's not being used. Most definitely should have pushed to GitHub. Then as soon as I get it working, I'm going to do that. I just can't see how that doesn't work. It worked if I put it on exactly 256, the timer, and now it's working correctly. There's something about the incrementing of the timer is failing. But it's working if I start from there. So it's like I had the problem with the factor being off. That's where I worked out that had to be a factor of that. At one point I didn't have that, and it wasn't getting to exactly 256. Should be though. Perhaps when I had it working a minute ago I had that like that. I'm sure I did put it to 0 and test it there and showed it took 5 seconds. In that case, let's try it. Try and get set pattern working. I can still use H and L, so I don't need to do any of that. But what I need to do is push HL there. Pop it. Because all I'm doing is using HL to put a pointer in there. I probably could have just used DE and not had to push and pop. Try that later. And same thing again. Now, what we should see, if I've put it in there correctly, which I think I have, should see that the first wave is the exact same what we've been seeing. Let's make the second wave not it. So that would be, of course, that should be the other way around. Again, we'll be making constants for all these, and it'll have a level. Each level will have its own set of constants for these. when I get it working. So I'm hoping wave 1 will be normal and wave 2 will be the weird one that we haven't really set up properly. It should be a bit lower in the screen. About 5 seconds after. Ah, it broke. Okay. Uh, I was quite sure that it didn't affect HL, but I'll just try this first. I fear it will still crash in the exact same spot. Yeah, I'm pretty certain don't need that. Second wave. Ah, the offset's 145. I'm pretty sure some of these are too high. Although, it should still be alright, actually. Oh no, there's only 192 lines. Let's create a second pattern, sod it. So like this one, I've started from 0 because the offset will take care of that. So that means I can start, I don't have to worry. I can always just work from the top of the screen with my offsets. This one was like a curve like we've seen. I mean, there's nothing stopping me having like 3 26s and have it hover up and down for a bit first or something like that, But I'm going to just keep it sort of simple. But this one will be straight for a while and then just go down. So it can start going down quite quick. Let's say 10 at a time. Might look a bit stupid, but it's only a test. Then maybe it can do another curve back up. And then why not curve down? There we go. So I actually think that will work now. $145. No, it's still going to break. Am I still using magic? I'm using all these magic numbers. I need to stop making constants. Let's just put 110 instead. Or in fact 105 because I can't be bothered to do the maths and work it out. I think that should be safe. The next wave will be lower down than that goofy wave. There we go. Perfect. Finally. And we're continuing on to the next waves that we set up. Eventually it's going to crash because I haven't put the level end. One of these need to always have a level end check. Either, well, wherever you want in this check. And it just needs to jump to the level end routine. And then, it's very straightforward, to be honest. Yeah. Now the only weird thing is now this should be incrementing by 4 each time, so we should get to 256. But for some reason or another, it's spawning straight away. That's so weird. Okay, then it seems to work as normal. So there's like a 0 Aha, I know why. Um, some of this code needs to be optimized at this stage. It needs to return out if it's 0. It was just defaulting to this one when it wasn't any of the others. I still didn't. It shouldn't be coming out straight away. Probably need to go higher up and do it here. I think that'll do it. No, still comes out straight away. How can it do that? Oh, what an idiot. What an idiot. I deleted that. Come on, 5 seconds in. We want to see that first wave. Here he is. This is going on GitHub right now before I fail again. Let's see that second wave. There it is. Should actually have 5 waves. Like not 5 different waves, but 5 varying waves. That makes sense. Anyway, yeah, I'm confident that's working. Let's get that on Git. Got about another half hour here tops. And then I've got to go work soon, or get ready for work. I'm gonna entitle this Super Surfer. They're surfing them waves. Should have called it Cowabunga. Finally, that is tidy now. I'm happy with this. The next step is to make these all constants. Pop that into levels. Change the include. Let's actually change this to level manager. I don't normally put underscores in file names, but I don't know. Try and compile and run that. Feel good. Yeah. I'm worried that it appears to be running quite slow already. So to create levels now, the way I'm going to do it is I'll have a level 1, and why not use underscores now, since I've used it already. Really, this is level specific stuff. Again, I could go another step further and use a pointer. I could create a table, as you say, or just a list of these, like a table like this basically, and I could point at it and get the values that way. I feel like that's unnecessary because constants don't use any memory, so why not just use a constant? Not even that big. I mean, it will be pretty big, this routine. There's 2 of them as well. Come in pairs. That's the way I'm going to do it first, and I might change it at a later date. Probably will have to because of memory, and because I'm copying all these instructions twice. I want to have 10 levels and copying it 10 times. You reckon plenty of room? I hope so. I'm going to check actually the size right now. It's already at 20 kilobytes. I don't know how small a normal, like a default one is. 19,500 bytes. But don't forget you have to add 6,000. Yeah, optimize later for sure. Get it working first. But obviously keep in the back of the mind about the size, because it has stung me on basically every project. But yeah, the buffer takes up 6K as well, basically. So we're already up at 25K. We've got about 7K left to play with. At least I'm aware of it now, of how much space we do have. So anyway, now I've created level 1. And it's probably easiest just to prefix every constant with that. Right, it's that simple there. Yeah, you see, I don't want every single enemy to be 5 seconds apart. So sometimes I want a wave to be 10 seconds apart, because 5 seems to be my minimum, unless I want to, unless I put this factor up even higher, in which case I'll have to put this up by the same factor. It is limited, but I could do that. No, keep it simple. Keep it simple. I'm happy with 5 seconds being the minimum sort of time chunk. Again, whilst I'm writing this, I'm already thinking of your table idea being better, but this uses no space, so it's more hassle. But I'd love to be able to. I'm not sure if that is legal to do, say, wave 1, and then I take it you can't do that. Nah, you can't, can you? Because that would actually be quite nice to lay it out like that for me. Call it start. $20. So I'm sure this is a goofy way of doing it. I'm not using a level editor of any kind. It's all like done in our head here. I mean, if you were using this code yourself and you wanted to create a level editor or use some sort of level editor, sure you could. To draw out where you want everything to start and then work out in 5-second chunks what number it's got to be. Let's just have like 4 that all come out in the minimum time. Then we'll wait just go 2 and then go up normally again. Got it. Only for demonstration purposes, really, isn't it? Then we'll wait like a little bit longer. And sod it, we'll have an even longer gap between each one for a little while. Then go quick again. Then maybe a nice long gap. And quick. You know, like I say, just making it up off the top of my head. That's all the starts. Eventually we're going to have types and everything. I mean, it looks nice and clean like that, but it's going to be a mess by the end of it. Annoying. Backwards. I really want all 20 of them listed out as well, similarly to that. Might just make it up there as I go along here. Oh yeah, I've also got level end. That should probably just be level specific. Let's give them a bit of time afterwards to actually move the enemies in that. Probably needs to be like, let's say, 35. Probably way too long. But so then we'd also have like positional spawn, like spawn slots, enemy spawn slots. So at the moment, they're just gonna have like 3 different channels that they can sort of spawn in. We'll keep these level specific as well. Okay. Doing similar thing here. Of course, I've only done 5 waves so far. I'm sure there's a better way. It would be nice to have done it in order of waves rather than we've done it by pattern, you know, and the waves are mixed up. Or I mean, I shouldn't have stuck to that like gospel because it's not right anyway. like the actual positions of the spawn. Just trying to visualize it in my head. Alright, just reading your message. Gonna roll a ciggy as well, again. Yeah, I'll try and take a look at that. The reason they must be able to do that is having very clever code. Because like I think quite a lot of my routines eventually add up to quite a lot of space because they're quite lengthy where they don't need to be. You know, it's only like a few bytes here and there, but I guess it adds up over thousands of lines. You're probably talking about a few K or you know, 3K of wasted stuff. Still learning new techniques all the time though and trying to refine it. I actually think this might work out quite nice. Yeah, hopefully it comes with experience. I mean, back then, of course, the system was the latest tech, so people could invest lots of time. You know, even real computer wizards would invest hundreds of hours on it. You know, but really, you have to strike a balance. I mean, it's not. It's good to know, but there's certain things that you don't need to know in today's stuff. If you know what I mean. So I want to strike a balance on my time, if you know what I mean. Definitely explore some more modern systems sometimes as well. You know, space will always be a problem though on all console games. I just need to add more waves, but I've got mental lock again. I guess the only reason I've got mental lock right now is I need to draw it out where they're coming from. Got it in it. Just keep going here. I mean, it's either do it like this or draw it out, and it's just as much hassle either way. Limited space is definitely the fun one. It definitely is. Fully agree with you there. That's the fun of it for sure. Squeezing stuff in. Can't wait to one day go back to the Mikey clone and squeeze enough into there to put the hallway in. Maybe even one more bad guy. You need your girlfriend at the end as well. So there's quite a lot of stuff that needs to be added into that one. I think there's also a cleaner. There's my 20 waves. What am I going to spawn them? Of course, I can change the flight path. I know flight path 2 is terrible right now. We just have to pretend it's not. And there will have to be more than 2 flight paths as well. Now I think I'll just make a simple little level. True, that was. Plus, you've got to bear in mind people have got to run it on their home system as well, whatever you're doing, unless you're doing some insane movie or something. You're going to just show to people. Cool, wouldn't it be great to be part of them 200 people teams though? I would absolutely love that. I'm obviously not at that level with any type of code, unfortunately. I'd just delve in there and ruin everyone's hard work if they gave me free reign. You'd be the tea lady. Game tester. You know, I know a lad from Denmark. I used to play FIFA with him. And he lived in Canada for quite a long time when he was about 18 or 19. He got a job, literally applied for it from Denmark to go and be a game tester in Canada. Got the job. But he says it wasn't like all it was cracked up to be. He didn't enjoy it that much. And he's now back in Denmark. For now, I'm going to be happy with that level. Like, just like that. We'll have to add some more flight paths. And probably a couple of enemy types next after that. I might not even bother changing the enemy type. I might be happy with that, and then we can do fun stuff like the background and stuff, which I think might be more fun. Because making another enemy is pretty easy. It's just a new sprite, and then finding some way of, just the same as we change the flight path, we change the sprite. Is he? Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot around now who are involved in programming in some way or another. Sure. I don't give up complete hope that I could offer something to the industry eventually. Even though I'm getting on a bit now. But obviously you can still code when you're 60, can't you? There's nothing stopping you. As long as you know what you're doing. All I need to do now is go through the painstaking task for this. I'm going to split it. I can always see that. The top slot stuff I'm looking for. 7, 8. It is almost worth not having these. The reason I'm making these is so that you could be in an external program writing this eventually. And then the code would already work, even though you just import a file. That's the reason I'm doing that. I mean, I could just type these numbers in. Maybe I should. So, where's the next 30? Oh, we need some 30s in there. Of course, I don't have to write 145. I could write top, middle, and bottom like I have got. So the last bit of the level will be 2 straight ones. That's how we'll know. And I'll also put the level end in and just make the border go red or something. So 13, 14, 15. at the bottom. In fact, I always go off on tangents, don't I? I'm bad, but I'm going to change all the 30s to the top. All the 145s to the bottom. Because like I say, I'm gearing it up so we can use external programs to write the levels for us. Well, that's what I'm attempting to do. Okay, that's a bit better. And then we can name the paths. We'll give them relevant names instead of 1, 2, and 3. It'll be like sine wave, tacker, or we'll give it some sort of name. And now it's 1 and 2. The bottom 9, 10, 16 to 18. Nine, 10, 16, 17. Because we've only got 3, we don't need to do any compare now. Oh, damn it. What I did need to do is keep some of that. There we go. Pattern I'm going to leave. Oh, I can't leave pattern. I could have done the default thing, but you keep getting phone calls on the tech support. That's good. Do you support many companies, or is it one specific company you offer the support for? I know my mate who's in tech support. There's lots of different companies he has to deal with. It could be loads of different things. Like pattern 1. You know what? There's so many flight pattern 1s there. You should just default to it. But the thing is, there won't be loads of flight pattern 1s eventually. Just leave it like it is. Sod it. Add loads of these. Well, for now we'll just temp default to 1. I'm not quite sure I've ever compiled it then with it in here. I thought I did. Oh yeah, I wanted to put a level end in. Just trying to think of the best way to check for that. It's the level timer, but I want it to be level specific, and I'm just going to jump to a routine that I've already made called program end. It just changes the border and plays a little jingle and does nothing else. From where I am. Yeah, so like I say, I would like to do it in here, but this is like not level specific, so I'd have to do the same end. I'd have to point it to the right one or something. I don't want to do that. I want to use the constant that I've made. I think I can get away with just doing it in here. Yeah, because the high byte won't be 0. It'll get to call offset, set offset. H already contains the level timer. I don't think it matters that that gets set, so I could just compare end, no, level end, jump Z, program end. So it should do all the waves and then end the game. And if it does, that'll be a good place to end the vid. Ready to work later. Oh, it hasn't found levels. Got an underscore in it. Oops. Okay, so we've got quite a few waves here, 20 waves, and then an ending. Maybe a long time, minute or two. I'm going to keep watching it. Then next it'll either be collision detection, or a background, or a different enemy style. Also, you've got to add some different wave types. That will be the very next thing. One company, lots of different databases. I still love a job like that. I used to love my job driving around, but I'm starting to really hate it, especially with this lockdown rubbish with police everywhere. And it sounds stupid, but it does knacker you out carrying massive bags of pizzas and drinks up people's drives all day. It didn't count how many waves yet, but I'm banking that it's going to work and turn red in a minute and make a little jingle. It seems to be working. There should be 2 at the end that are coming from the middle. This could be them. Or it might not be. Then there's a long wait. Oh, that seems to be middle again. Maybe it's not working. I don't remember having 3 middles in a row. They're all middle now. Something's happening. Went to the top. It doesn't necessarily mean it's not working. It could be that I've typed something in wrong. One of them little routines. Let's see if it gets to the end. Should do. There's no real reason why it shouldn't. I haven't seen any come from the bottom though for ages. Maybe that's the bottom. Yeah, I think that's the middle. I think it's weird. There'll be one more like that and then maybe a big pause. If it's like that, then it's working great. No, something weird. That's a shame. It's going to work straight away. Hmm. Almost, yeah. It's bound to be something just tiny. And what the first thing I'm going to do is change top, middle, and bottom so they're much more easy to see. Try and work it out correctly. So the first one will start 10 from the top. 192 take away 10. Take away 8 for now. And then 192 take away 4. Divided by 2. I don't know if you can use brackets, that's the only problem. I think you can use brackets, but you have to have something else in front of it first, otherwise it messes up. Let's just try it. If it doesn't work, we can change it very easily. It should be top, bottom, mid, mid, top, top. Oh, they've gone off the screen. I didn't calculate. I didn't allow for that, did I? I believe it didn't break. This will break it surely when it does that big dip. Yeah. Didn't think of that. So that's why it looked like it was coming from the middle all the time, because the bottom has to be quite high up. I should have thought of that. Where I've started from 0, I did think about it, but I ignored my own thought. I should start from the top of the wave and have a wave centralised, if you know what I mean. The way around it, what I'm going to do is have one wave that goes upwards with a curve, and then make sure all the bottom ones are set to that. Either that or the straight, the normal wave type. Damn it. Well, guess I'll have to do, just for testing purposes now, 0 there. 40 there. 80 there. Should be able to see the difference between them still. I hope. Be top, bottom, mid, mid, top, top. That's bottom. That's the reason, because the dip there. This is perfect so far. And I could move the bottom down a bit. Let's do that, sure. Mid, mid, and then the next will be top, top. One more mid. Top, top. Bottom, bottom. Oh, that looked wrong. Maybe I counted it wrong. Is the next one a top? Yes. 2 bottoms. That's middle. It's gone wrong, hasn't it? It's almost. It's so close. Maybe I just wrote them wrong. I was chatting while I wrote it, but I thought it was right. I just want to see that program end. Because it's not like they're very big numbers. I was just wondering then if I tried to use a number bigger than 255 in the compare. But it's like it goes up in ones. Still very close. Yeah, it's a noob game, isn't it? You can just go down here and chill out. Then when you fancy it, just pop up. God, it's going to be tough. I mean, I can make the spawn less quick, but I can't really make them much slower. Well, I can actually. It'd use more data though, because I could just have that, and you know, let's try it. They're going to suddenly speed up. They're tricky now. Oh no! Of course, I have to change the spawn. Oh look, that's pretty cool, though, isn't it? That's actually really cool. Oops. Do slightly less of that. Probably will make fire on enemies unless I really struggle. That was nifty, wasn't it? Look at that. Maybe a few more was needed that time. So if you're really quick, you can shoot them all when they're in a bunch. But if you don't, they're going to get you. You don't manage to hit them. And then them ones catch you out, you think they're going to do the same thing, but they do something different. So I like it already. It's only straightforward so far. Unfortunately, the waves are not working quite right, and I'm running very low on time now, so I doubt I'll finish it for about 5-10 minutes. I really like that though. I actually really like that. It will look better once I've got the UI panel in. I think I might have to focus on that at one point soon as well, so that it doesn't look so goofy. Maybe have to make more bullets for us or something as well. I don't know. It's pretty balanced. I suppose we want the exact same amount of bullets that we. No, actually, it's better to have one less bullet than there is enemies. It takes a bit more skill. Because you have to hit them and then still shoot another one off. Of course, once you spawn a bullet, I mean, once it hits the enemy, you'll despawn the bullet and it'll probably let you shoot again anyway. I like it. I'm a bit saddened by losing that whip on the side, but the buffer couldn't handle it if I remember right when I tried to. I would have needed to use all the shadow registers and everything. I'm happy with that. Look how easy it is to change the flight pattern now. That was a great idea from you and Gio. I am fearful that that's got to be using quite a chunk of data. I'll just look at the size of it now. It hasn't made much difference yet, really. That's good. Maybe 100 extra bytes since I last checked. Spend a few minutes trying to figure out why the waves aren't getting to the end. It could be something simple as where I'm checking this. I don't think that's the case. Hmm. Just try it in here for a little while. I know that's not the best way of doing it. I just want to see if it works in principle though. So it should eventually get there and end. I'm trying to think how long it'll take. 35 times 5 seconds. So it's not that long. Minute and a half to make you laugh. Right, come on. Thing is, I'm pretty sure they're not coming out in the right order as well. Top, bottom, top, bottom, middle, probably. And again, top, Definitely broken on number 7. Oh, that's why. It's because I put a gap. I need it to not spawn. I need it to. It is brilliant. I loved it as well. I can't get enough of that. I'm going to make loads of them, like all different ones, where they meet up in the middle of the screen maybe and then burst out. Something like that. Well, they have to follow each other, unfortunately, otherwise it's not so easy, but still pretty good. I figured out the problem as well. It's because it's defaulting where I've left a gap. So I've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and it's just defaulting to the middle and doing another wave. It should be not even calling enemy spawn. Yeah, it'd be brilliant. And you can do all sorts. You can make them be really slow and then suddenly boosh, really quick, you know, and straight. I can think of a few little ones in my head that would be easy to make. I figured the reason for this, but if it's not equal to any of them, we need it to not spawn at all. And all it's doing is setting the middle offset. Perhaps we could jump somewhere instead, so that it never spawns. We get to set Y offset. That would mean none of this stuff gets called after it. Because I think it would have actually got to program end. It was just doing so many waves in between that we weren't expecting that I never allowed it enough time. So I could even just jump to level up. Or we want to increment the time. That's the thing. Let's just jump to the end of here. Um, just call it spawn wave end, isn't it? So unfortunately, I've got to do the same that I've done here for the middle ones first. Take one. So all the middle ones. 5, 6, 11, 12. Nineteen, 20. And if not, we actually want to just jump to the end. I guess we don't need to do that with pattern because it does the other one first and it will just jump. It's fine. Hopefully now. Actually, I'll keep us in suspense a couple of minutes long, a couple of seconds longer, because I want to put these down a little bit. Try that. Right, now we'll check, and then after that I've got to go. So you can see on the right the words in green. I'm not sure if they're readable on your screen, but it says top, bottom, top, bottom. That's the order they should come out in. And eventually at the end. Looking good so far. Sometimes there's going to be a longer wait than others. I'm concerned that there hasn't been so far. But maybe there has. 2 tops now, hopefully. No, still buggered. What happens is it's defaulting. It's defaulting to middle still by the looks of it. Whenever there's no wave, and then it's spawning a wave anyway. If I had time to, just as a test right now, but I don't, I would remove all the gaps in my list, and I'd also do level end with no gap. As it stands, I think we'll get like 8 in the middle at the end, and then the end. And I must remember when I get home from work, these are the middle ones coming up maybe. No, that's top. I must remember to put back some of the changes I made there with where the level ends and stuff. I didn't want it in that main level file. So is this 3 tops in a row and then 3 bottoms? Maybe we're near the end now. Of course, it might be a middle because of a gap. I did put a gap of 2 somewhere near the end. In fact, 3. Look, yeah. So I think it is working. It's just that gap bit. I mean, listen, I'm still a novice. If it gets to the point where I spend too long, I just won't have any gaps. But I do want a gap because obviously you can have a nice long gap in between bits of the level and stuff. Here's the 2 middles maybe. Oh, in fact, we're going to have a load of middles now. A hell of a load, like 8. And then I'm expecting the end of the level at that point. If we get anything other than middle now, then I'm not sure what's going on. And likewise, if it goes over like another 5 or 6 of them, maybe 3 more, is it? So I haven't been watching that closely. I'll give it another 3 from here, not including this one. Too much of a gap. Still a bit of work ahead before we can put a level out completely. Yeah, something's buggered with it. Seems to default to middle when it shouldn't. Should just default to not doing anything. No, it seems to never reach the end somehow. So there could be anything going on. I'm a bit stuck. A lot of head scratching for later to do. Yeah, it does look promising. I'm happy with that. Hopefully I don't finish work too late and I'll be knackered, but we'll see. I'll certainly be online and trying to fix it anyway at the same sort of time. Thanks everyone for watching. It means a lot building up this viewer count. Try and get this game looking pretty good later, hopefully. So, catch you then, hopefully. See you soon, guys. Have a nice day. Thanks, Ayla. Hope to see you again, mate. Good to have you around. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, guys. I'll be on about approximately 11:30 tonight. See you then.